Hello and welcome to What Map, the map review show for City Skylines. There are tens of thousands of maps in the workshop now, and so finding the right one for your next build is a huge task. So each day, Monday to Saturday, we'll review one, using our 5-star rating for aesthetics, detail and gameplay potential, awarding only the very best the coveted seal of approval. So join me, fellow Skylines explorers, as we venture to today's new land. Who am I? I'm BonBonB, and you are very, very welcome.
Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to Saturday's What Map. Yes, we've made it through another week. We are indeed 1 week closer to interstellar travel, 1 week closer to that zombie apocalypse, and 1 week closer to me winning International Rear of the Year. But don't worry, none of those things are going to happen anytime soon, so you can rest easy. What is going to happen soon though is today's map. And today's map has been on the back burner for way too long. It's Virtunos by Michalic, who we've done before in the past. I believe that was Riverdale back then. Now, like I say, this has been on the back burner for far too long. I've got a list of maps and I kind of do them in whatever order seems right at the time, and this has been on that list for ages. But I am going to apologise immediately to Michalic because I've used the wrong theme throughout until the right at the very end. And I would say it doesn't appear in the required elements, but right at the bottom there in highlights, yeah, natural beauty. So I missed that, and I do apologise that most of this review is going to be in a vanilla custom theme. But at the very end we go full glorious Technicolor with natural beauty. We're just looking at the raised highway at the moment. Is it necessary to raise this highway at this point? Well, we will talk about this more. But yes, at the end of this episode there will be full glorious natural beauty Technicolor, and the map will be judged on those colours. So, and yeah, if you're really upset about this, I'm ever so sorry. I am. But having recorded all the footage, I just didn't have time to go back and do it again with the correct theme. But I'm raising this now to you guys. Speaking of raised, like I say, raised highways all throughout this map, which is a damned expensive thing to do. Look at this intersection. Totally crazy. Brilliant. Anyway, yes, we'll come back and look at this at the end for reasons which I will explain then. Maybe it's my warped brain, but we will come back and look later. The bridge, pretty much perfect. Yeah, it comes in from the raised highways. Slightly unlevel those raised highways, but not too far out. And then just the, yeah, just that in the middle. That's fine, that's good. So, don't like it having it all the way across. Ah, the trumpet start square. Yes, we will talk about this now. Then it's perfect right by the river, but I have a grumble that once you expand those roads in, you're going to cut off this little area a little bit. It's going to be difficult to get into there. And so for me, I would have inverted the trumpet. I would have had the start square pushing out into that build plane there instead of this little bit over here. And then of course you could bring in the roads underneath the extended highway there, the raised highway. That's what I would have done. But it's not bad. It's not a bad location. Okay, right, so yes, I was talking about raised highways. Very expensive to build highways full stop, but to build raised highways, very expensive. And there's no real reason to be raised throughout, apart from Start Square where they are dropped down to ground level. Everywhere else, here they are, just a few feet off the ground. And like I say, it does bring them up from the trees. You know, if you're up in the sky, it gives you a much better view of them. But I'm just a little bit, I'm in disagreement with that one. Back to this intersection. If we head up this way, this will give you a better idea of what I mean by it's unnecessarily raised. As we come around here, it's at ground level. And now it starts raising up to get over a little bit of a hill. But why doesn't it go through this valley? See how high it goes as it exits off into the fog. Yeah, got that. Why? There's no reason for that. It could have come around this valley here. Could have come around there very happily. And yeah, although this is way off of the 25 squares in the middle, I judge a map on all 81. And so on with the railways. Now the railways aren't too bad. There's no major problems with these. We've got 3 connections basically. We're going to take the most interesting route. This part of the route is mundane, to be honest with you, and then we reach this rail intersection, which is interesting. We'll have a look at that a bit later on as well. That's the other route, and it's pretty straight and ordinary. But we'll come this way because we have a look at a few hills here, and I would debate that possibly the line gets a little bit too steep. It's arguable though. Like this one here, it's not too bad. You've got plenty of time for the train to get up to some speed, but it's just that is a little too steep for my liking. Not much. Maybe a tunnel would have been in order, and you could have brought the tunnel out at about this point down here. But that's just my call. Not much in it really. And then over here, this is a little bit too steep. Again, this for me is too steep. So anyway, that's enough of the rail. Let's do a asset review. An asset review? Whoops. It's the Star Trek Museum. See, I did promise Interstellar Travel was coming, and here it is, far before my Rear of the Year nominations. Yeah, Star Trek Museum by isdraken. And now, I would say that, where are we there? 369, 12 parking bays isn't going to be enough, but maybe people aren't that enamoured with Star Trek. I like a bit of Star Trek myself, and this is his own design, so he's not infringing any copyrights. Good call there, Mr. isdraken. Or Mrs. Draken. I'm guessing Mr. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Doesn't matter these days, does it? Nah, not at all. So anyway, there's your Star Trek Museum by isdraken. Today's asset of the jolly old day. Very nice. And back to Virtunos. Shipping. Oh, and the seagulls right on cue outside my window. Shipping. Yeah, it's a little bit tight through there. Yeah, we've got shipping going off that way and shipping going off this way. So he's chosen to take every single narrow pass through here. And also through over here. Now, surely this is the perfect location for one of those essential lighthouses, don't you think? Maybe one on either side. That would have been an absolute mark of genius. Unfortunately, there aren't any essential lighthouses, so that makes me sad. On to the rivers. Now, the rivers is not his best work, if I'm honest with you. Not too great at all. We've got these islands in the middle which are unrealistic to say the least. The banks are particularly high and ugly. Admittedly though, with the correct theme they are more attractive. But they're still not particularly realistic. And then we head down past here. We'll head up the other stream this way here. And we've got plenty of moving water. We've had a couple of maps lately with stagnant water. All the water on this map is flowing freely, so you've got no problems with that. We don't even need to show you the graphics. You can probably even make it out there. Even there you can see it flooding down through that gully. Once again, not particularly realistic, but at least it's moving. And that's important. Okay? Important. And we'll head upstream here. This is the main river that comes through the map. Once again, flowing water there, you can see very clear. Nice and wide. Plenty of opportunities for riverfront copy. Like I say, detailing, not much in the way of detailing along the riverbanks, but at least there's a little bit of effort here and there. And it's a shame because the riverbanks is like one of the most interesting parts of the map, I think, sometimes. Bit of an aerial view. Let's come down and have a look at the build plains and the hills and stuff. And like I say, there's plenty of space to build in this map. Some of the hills are a little bit awkward, and unfortunately I've forgotten, once again with the footage, to show you the mountains with the water in them. But I think you know that I'm not a big fan of water-filled mountains, although there's one in that's an island. That looks pretty good, if I'm honest with you. Right, now, I don't know, oh, this is unnecessary. Unnecessarily close to that mountain. Boom. Also unnecessary is this intersection. It reminds me of a lady's reproductive organs. Am I right here, guys? Maybe it's because I've not had any for a while. Still, not everything looks sexual. No, like these bosoms. Still, not all intersections are like that. This looks like a side view of a man's you-know-what's. Dearie me, I need a slap and a glass of cold water over my head. Last bit of detailing we'll look at. Now we've got forestry going down onto the beach. Did you notice that, though? Did you notice it? Let's go back and have a look. We've got the uniformity of the beach. See this? Uniformity of the beach. It's all very level and very straight. And then up here we've got all these trees, all randomly positioned. Yep, got that. Beach, trees, but look at the transition. And the transition is prop line tool. Look at how straight that line of trees is. Look, look, just look. Yeah, the trees behind it are all random. I find that particularly odd. I'm suspecting this line was drawn out and then the trees were painted in behind. And I think it looks a bit silly. And trust me, I know all about silly. But I tell you what, speaking of silly, let's now have a look at it in full Technicolor, shall we? Here we are. This is the natural beauty theme. This is how the map should have looked. And we're not going to look at everything we just looked at. It's just going to give you a better idea of the feel of the... See, the banks look a little bit better now, don't they? They do. Yeah, and look at that. You see the texturing there in the rocks? Much better. Yeah. So I apologise that the whole map review wasn't done like this. The beaches, there's what the beaches would have looked like. Yeah, and the trees. The highways, ooh, ouch. Problem with this is the highways become glary, I'm afraid. And they burn my eyes, my retina, it's gone. Oh dear. But anyway, that is basically what you missed out on, and that's what the whole map should have looked like from the beginning. Aesthetically, I would have said it was a 3, but with the natural beauty, I would definitely upgrade that to a 4. Detailing, what detailing there is, I'm not sold on. It's okay, at least the effort's been put in, and I'm going to give that a solid 3 stars there. Gameplay potential, there is no reason why you can't build a great city on this map. A little limited, below the 4 stars. Yeah, got that. So now I've managed to splatter that out. My asthma's starting to kick in at the end. I'm now having trouble breathing. I'm about to pass out on the floor. Hopefully you will find me again on Monday with another What Map, and I'm going to try and do something extra special for tomorrow. So tune in for that too. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking and subscribing. I've been BonBonB and you have been very, very welcome.